Anyway, so Mike and Noel were kind enough to ask me to, fill in, and I'm glad to do it. The fill-in Filipino, and so they wanted me to cover some very specific things. So I'm going to try to, sometimes PowerPoint is really the only way I can keep myself on track, so I don't go off track. And so I'm going to share some thoughts and ideas that might hopefully can help you guys out. So let me. So one of the things Mike Noel wanted me to cover was, really how to use the ATM to your advantage. And one thing about using the ATM, when we developed that a long time ago, I worked hard at getting that to fit my sales process that I teach. It's the Sandler sales submarine. Some of you might have seen my videos on it. That's a 7-step process that you go through to take a client, well, actually to filter a client. So the whole idea of the sales submarine is to filter out pretenders, people that don't deserve to be your clients. It's really kind of a reverse in sales. Everyone thinks sales is about, trying to get someone to do something, right? No, in our world, sales is qualifying the client to see if they deserve to be your client. Like, number one, do they have a real need to take care of? Do they love someone enough that they want to buy insurance for, right? Number two, are they going to follow through the process of getting insurance where they got to sign the dadgum electronic application? And number three, are they going to keep their policy after it gets issued for at least 9 months, right? Are they going to, cover that criteria? Because any little bit where you doubt any of that, then you just move on. You get out of there and move on. So really, our sales process is not a sales process, but a filtering process to determine if this client deserves to be a client. And if you've been in the business long enough, I've been in the business 25 years, as long as Mike and Noel. And it's a long time, man. I count my gray nose hairs, and that's how I know how long I've been in the business. Kind of like tree rings, right? Anyway, you get enough chargebacks, you're going to learn about how to qualify people. Okay. So here's the main reason why people don't buy from you, that they could have bought from you, because there are people that you should not sell insurance to, right? And then there are people that are going to be lay down. So like, say out of 10 people you sit down with, there are 2 probably you should not sell insurance to. And then there are 2 that no matter what you do or say that you're going to sell, they're going to be lay downs. So that leaves 6 in the middle, the 6 that make or break your profitability, right? And so how do you determine the ones that you're going to sell, that you should sell, that you're going to close? Usually I find that agents don't close because of 2 reasons. The first one is not creating enough bond and rapport, developing trust with a client. And the second reason is that the client didn't have enough pain. They didn't have enough pain to solve. They didn't love someone enough to take care of them. They didn't have that emotional reason why they wanted and needed the policy, right? So those are the 2 main reasons. Yeah, there are other reasons, like maybe, the company you want to ride them with they don't take credit cards, or, something's hinky with something, and that kind of stuff happens. But that's what I found is the 2 reasons. You don't create good enough bond rapport, you don't create enough pain. Okay. So let's look at the 2 sections in the ATM where you're able to do that. So I think the first 4 slides are really your bond and rapport slides. Now, bond rapport happens all throughout the process. You're getting to know the client, learn about the client, but the main part of it begins actually when you walk into the door. Actually, it starts when you wave at the house, when you go up into the house. That's where bond and rapport starts. You're bonding and rapporting with them. They haven't yet bonded and rapport with you unless they see you. It's like, darn, they saw me peeking out of the window, right? So you're going up that's where it all starts, man. It starts at the door when you greet them. Hey, I'm here. You get in the house, you wipe your feet, take your shoes off, head out, take them to the table, right? You don't wait for them to invite you to the table. You take them to the table. Hey, your kitchen table over here. Walk right in, sit your butt down. I know Mike and Noel taught about where to place everything, but bond report starts there, right? First impressions are everything. If they have pets, man, I'll be all over the pets, petting them because I love pets. You know, if you love the pet, they're going to love you. I don't care if you're allergic to their pet. I don't care if you hate dogs. You love on that dog, man. They're going to love you. I close, man. When they got pets, I close them. Okay. But bond report starts here. Now, look, one thing about the ATM, I would pray to God in heaven that you don't do is you don't read every dadgum word. Okay. The words are just there to show them that you can talk about a lot of stuff because you know a lot of stuff, but you're not going to talk a lot about stuff because you know a lot of stuff. Does that make sense? Like reading word for word, just crazy, so don't do it. Just you flip your ATM there and you're just talking to it. You're not talking to them, but you're not reading off the chart. Okay. So, the About Me page, this is where you create bond rapport and credibility. So these are really bond rapport / credibility, which is really kind of the same thing, right? Because the idea with bond rapport, what you're trying to get is gain trust with the client, right? You're trying to get them to trust you that you're not going to run off with their banking information and go book a trip to Thailand. Okay. That's not how we get to Thailand, gang. We do it by writing business. Okay. Just to remind you. Okay. So the About Me is not about telling them about you, but it's about telling them about you so you can find out about them. Okay. Great book by Chris Voss called The Negotiation Book. What is it called? Never Split the Difference. You got to read that book. And there he talks about where you do actually need to share about you because you want them to empathize with you. Like it's almost forces empathy when they learn about you. That's only one half of it. The second half is asking about them, finding about them. Most important things you can find about them is how did the husband and wife meet each other? That is, you create a lot of good juju with asking, so how did you guys meet? So you share about how you met your wife or your husband, and then you ask them how they met. Okay. That's always a good question. The key objective is finding about their kids. What are their kids' names? And I don't care if you have to write down the names so you can use those names, but the best way to use their names is writing it down. And by the way, writing down their names, you don't have to memorize it, although I try to, okay? But I'll write them down. And it just shows that you respect the names of their families, okay? But use the kids' names all the time. Don't say, so tell me what will happen to your family when you die and you don't have, the money to pay for your funeral. It's like, family, really? No. Tell me what happens with Martha, Mary, Samuel, and Ebenezer. What happens to them if you, use the names. Okay. Biggest thing to get with the client on is using their names, being like them. People like people that are like them. So I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. You are smiling when they say, that Donald Trump. Oh, so you're a big fan? Yeah, I'm a big fan. Whatever. I don't care what you think about Donald Trump. Just say, yeah, man, he's something else, isn't he? And get them talking. Oh, yeah, man, he's the greatest thing since blah, blah, blah. And then, you're saying, right on, man, that's cool. Okay. Hey, you're in it to win it. You're not in it to espouse your personal views about everything. They don't care about you. They care about them, right? So you are like them as much as possible. Okay. You show pictures of your family. Why? Because the pictures show that you are not just a salesperson. You are a person. You are a human being that loves your family, right? The only way you can relate to them, loving their family, is you showing them your family whom you love. And our pictures are the most powerful weapon in your arsenal to show them that you are a caring person. You have this family. Man, if you got pets, put your pets on there too. Because if they have pets, they're going to love you because they know you have pets, right? Like I tell you, I use everything to your advantage, okay? And then, the corporation page, I just show them, hey, these are just a portion of the companies represent. Do you recognize Mutual of Omaha? Or any of the companies here recognize? Yeah, we've got a variety of different products. So bond rapport, and this is, if you're going to spend any time, you're going to spend time in bond rapport and pain finding. okay, getting to know them. And you're going to feel at a certain level, what level of rapport that you're developing with them, because you're going to feel it. And once you do enough appointments, you're going to feel that the juju is good. I hope Mike and Noah probably teach you about mirror matching, where, you match their vocal rate of speech, right? If they talk fast, you talk fast. If they talk slow, then you slow down so they can understand you. And how you know you're doing it right is because it's driving you crazy talking this slow. But you talk as slow as them. You talk as fast as them, right? Try to use the same kind of description words they use. This is some, Sales 404 neurolinguistic program.
Any of my girlfriends
because
they've never seen me like that. So that would have been a rude awakening.
All right, let's listen into the conversation. Is it going to talk about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, or sex, drugs, and politics? Is it going to talk about getting naked with somebody? Who's that Lauren King? Anyway, okay, so where was I? Oh, okay, about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. No, so bon rapport, super important to talk like they talk, use words like they use, and they'll know that they'll never know you're not mimicking them really. The other thing is mirroring their body language. If they're sitting back like this, you sit back like that. If they're crossing their legs, you cross your legs, and they'll never notice you're doing it. But there's an NLP thing that happens. You're totally grooving on what they're thinking and how they're thinking. I can't get into it now. I got some great videos on the ultimate bon rapport techniques, but those are some of the things that you really need to be aware of, and you can't gloss over it quick, because if they don't trust you, man, they're not going to give you their bank information, right? And the other thing that bon rapport will allow you to do is ask deeper pain finding questions, because if you never really build it, then you'll never be able to ask the deeper emotional questions, right? Now, here's the thing. If you feel like the juju's not there, you feel like this is just not feeling right. Like they're answering with short yes or no questions, which you shouldn't ask just yes or no questions. Ask open-ended questions. But if they're just real short with you, it's okay for you to call a timeout. Just say, hey, can I call a timeout? And they go, yeah, I guess. Okay, listen, I'm getting the feeling that, so you open everything up with, I'm getting the feeling that, because it's non-confrontational. I'm getting a feeling that there's just something, I'm not connecting with y'all. I don't know if I made you mad. Was there something I said to make you guys mad at me? And then you just shut up, right? Fall on your sword and just stare at them with a smile and just wait for them to ask. Do not say another word. I don't care if you're staring at them for 5 minutes, okay? Especially if the wife is the one that's got like her arms folded, her legs crossed, and her lips pushed out. He probably pissed her off because he didn't tell her that you were coming, right? I want to know that, because I don't want to keep going if she doesn't want me to be there. He wants you to be there, but she's like going to be against it, and there's just all kinds of junk going on. I'm called time out. And look, if it's not going to be, I'm walking out of there. It's like, maybe I came at a bad time. Maybe, is there anything I can say to help you with this process? Just leave it up to them, and then hightail it out of there, because you're not going to close it. And if you do, it's going to be a chargeback. Seriously. But call time out. Like, don't fake yourself out. The worst thing you could do is mutually mystify each other, where you're deluded into thinking that you got something good going on when in fact you don't, or they're thinking you're just going to give them rates when in fact you're not, right? You're not just going to give them rates, right? So bon rapport, let's go to pain finding. And those are the next 4 slides. And I don't know about you guys, but I always like to put the personal information after the pain finding slides. Like what, why did you send this to us? What was the most important thing? Okay, again, I don't read the slide. Okay, now if you're new, maybe you have to. Okay, now remember, these 2 slides are the fork in the road slides. So if you're going to talk to someone about mortgage protection, you go to the mortgage protection slide. If you can talk to them about final expense, you're going to explain final expense. But here's the most important slide when it comes to pain finding is why is this important to you? Okay. So again, I don't read the slide. I'll ask them a basic question. Here's to me one of the most powerful questions is, so tell me why I'm here. Why did you invite me into your house? And then you shut up. Let them answer the question. Well, I thought we are going to get life insurance quotes. Oh, okay. Well, I'm curious. That's a great answer, but why do you need life insurance? Just keep asking why questions, what questions, who questions, but find out. This is where you dive down to the emotional reason why they need this policy. And if you aren't willing to ask 10 questions, you'll never get to the emotional reason why they need it, right? I find too often agents jump off this quick because the client will tell you what they want you to hear. They're going to say, well, I want to protect my family because I love them. Okay, pain finding done. Let's move on. Man, they just tricked you into giving them quotes, right? So I just say, hey, I appreciate that. So tell me, who's the loved one you're trying to take care of? When you start focusing on who they love, you're going to get to the pain. So tell me about that person, your son, John. Tell me about John. Is John your only child, or you have other siblings? Oh, he's got other siblings, got other children. So is John the most responsible one? That's a big reason why you need to dig into the names of the kids, who their loved ones are they're trying to take care of. Because once you get that, how much they care about their loved one, then you can hit them with a soft close. And the soft close is this. So, John or Joe, you're telling me basically what I'm hearing you say is that you love your son John so much that when you die, you don't want to leave John a bill for the funeral, but you want to leave him a check to pay for the funeral. Is that correct? Because that's what it comes down to. Do you want to leave your loved one a bill or you want to leave them a check? Right? If you can get them to say, yeah, that's exactly what I want. Boom. In my opinion, you've come to the first closing part of the ATM. Then this will determine whether or not you really closed them or you really created bond report. And pain finding is when you start digging into their personal information on the green sheet. They'll tell you everything you want to know, because that's the first sign of, did I do my job on the first two parts of this? And if they start giving you all this information, then you know you're there. If they're reluctant, okay, this gives you permission to go back to pain finding. Well, I'm not sure if I feel comfortable disclosing all this information. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't make myself clear. Why? I'm curious why did I not do something right? Did I say something wrong? Well, no, I just, okay. Well, tell me the reason why again you wanted me here. See, now you can go back to, so why did you want me here? And there you go. So I know I can go on that, but this is where you find it. Now, the second close on this is the second close in the ATM is what happened next slide. And so, like I said, I don't read the slide, but here's what I tell them. I go, yeah, Joe Mayor, it sounds to me like you really want to take care of, John, your son, and make sure that he gets a check and not a bill. Let me describe to you exactly what's going to happen next. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some personal questions about your health so I can figure out the best company for you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put together a request for coverage form, and we're going to see if you qualify. Okay. Because look, tonight's not a think about it night tonight. I know a lot of people they think they can say, oh, let's think about it, but there's really nothing to think about here. You know why there's nothing to think about? You shut up and let them answer. No. Why is that? Well, because there is nothing to think about. There's only something to think about if we know that you qualify. We're just going to get you through this first part, which is the qualification process. So it's going to involve taking a request for coverage form, getting your bank information and all the information on your health. And we're going to try to qualify you for the best possible rates. Okay. Now, the insurance company is then going to take that information. They're going to determine whether or not they're going to cover you. Okay. I wish I could do it myself. I wish I could say, yes, you're going to get covered, but I can't do that. I don't have that power. the insurance company is going to think about you before you can think about them. So once they issue it, if it gets issued, then you're going to get a copy of the policy, and then I'm going to come back over. I'll give you a call. We'll go over it, make sure it's got everything that you're looking for. And at that point, you can determine whether or not you want to raise your coverage or lower your coverage, or you'll be able to modify things in it, and I'll help you do that. Right? Does that make sense? So tonight's not a think about tonight. Make sense? Boom. That's where you really close it. From then on, they give you permission to move forward. Now, you could also say, now, if they decide not to issue this to you, I've got other carriers I'm going to come back and talk to you about, but I'm going to see if we can get the best policy for you based on your proper information that you've given me. Okay, makes sense, Joe? Boom, you're done. So that's the close. That's how you close it. And look, if feel like you're ever in trouble, call from the home. Now, I know some of y'all don't even recognize what that is. That's an old-timey phone with a dialer. I remember dialing with a pencil, okay, back in the day, okay, when I was like 2 years old. No, but you know what I'm talking about. But call, call, call. I don't care if you're calling, you're upline 5 times, 10 times from the home. It shows that you've got credibility, that you got people smarter than you that's listening, right? That will listen to you on the behalf of the client. They show that you're plugged in. You know what I'm saying? It's credibility. Don't feel like, oh, they're going to think I don't know anything. And how you set that up is you go, now listen, I've got some experts on the line, our chief underwriters. I'm going to talk to them, make sure we're on the right track. You get them on the phone, boom. Hey, I've got this lovely couple, Joe and Mary, and they were asking this question about blah, blah, blah. What would be your recommendation on that? I have my idea, but let me hear what you would say. Boom. There you go. Got it. It's a call from the home. All right. I know this is kind of a whirlwind. I'm going to try to hit all the topics they gave me because I'm just anal about fulfilling, what I committed to do. So power partner. So as some of you know that, we made Integrity Partner, which is a big deal for me and my family, because we worked really hard over the years and never knew that partner was an option until Integrity purchased Andy's business, the Alliance. And what's really cool about partnership is that everyone has an opportunity now to become an Integrity Partner. And what's great about that is even after they IPO, initial public offering, after they go public, they are still giving out partnerships. So the partnership opportunity does not end when Integrity Marketing goes public. It just means that they're a public company now, and they have all the more pressure to grow. And in that pressure to grow, which should be no different than your pressure to grow, right? You're going to make multiples and multiples of the stock ownership that you're going to have. And that's one of the first benefits is you're going to get shares in the company. Man, having a share of a mega company like Integrity Marketing Group, and those will like split and they will grow and split, grow and split. And all of a sudden, the stock that they issue will be 15, 20 times what it was. And then when it splits, it has a chance to go another 15, 20 times. Do you see how a $5,000 can be 1.5 million, right? In just a few years. And we're all building this thing, right? If we're building it properly, expect to get shares in Integrity Marketing Groups. That's the first benefit. The second is they've got a vast array of business tracking and building tools that you don't have as a regular agent, but as a partner, you have access to all the things that they have that you can take part in, right? That's huge right there. It's another layer. Just you think our ARC system is awesome and everything, the Alliance, man, multiply that 10 times when you're plugged into Integrity Marketing's infrastructure as a partner. It's huge. Next one is that that your business can be purchased. Like if you were just an agency, chances are you probably couldn't sell your business, right? But now that once you go partner, now Integrity Marketing Group is there to buy your business when you're ready to cash out. Is that cool? That comfort level knowing that someone's going to give you multiples of your business worth and you can go to Tahiti and hang out on the beach somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. How do I become a partner? just get to board member and then you'll be in the conversation. I can't give you any criteria. Just have a profitable business, and you'll be in the conversation at the board member level. Okay. That's all I can tell you. We are blessed. Thank God for Andy Albright for blessing us with that opportunity. All right, let's talk about edification and building. Edification is your power. The power of edification, what is edification? Edification is you giving credibility to something, whether it's a person who's helping you build your business or whether it's an event that you're trying to get people to. Your power of edifying is a power that will reap multiples of value back in your business. So what is it? Well, if you have your upline coming down your downline like you should, and you're trying to edify the person that brought you in the business, you give that person credibility because your friend might know you, but he doesn't know Andy Albright. He doesn't know Mike and Noah Leawantowicz. And so what you do to edify them is to talk good about what they've done, not only that they're good people and they're straight up, but what they've done in the business, right? To build their business, to do all the right things so that they're mentoring you. And you give them credibility by talking about what they've done in the business. Never falsely edify, only edify what you can edify, things that are edifiable. And then when they come in and talk to your new person, the prospect, right? They're going to talk good about you. Your prospect's going to listen to them because you gave them the credibility that they need to have influence on your prospect, right? And what will happen is your prospect will respect what Mike and Noel will say to them. Then the other thing is they're going to edify you saying, hey man, Alex has done well in this business, just got started 6 months ago, but his team is rocking. His team is just blowing up and he's doing all the right things. So you should listen to him. And what that gives your prospect, whether they're a good friend or not, the trust level that they can trust you because Mike and Noel blessed you, that they should listen to you, right? Now, if you're not edifiable, then Mike and Noel's not going to tell them to listen to you, right? They're going to say something that sounds like it to you, but is definitely not listen to you. That's how you know you're not edifiable. That's how you know you're not doing all the right things. They might even just edify your upline. Hey, Alex has someone that brought him in. His name's Art, and that dude's just killing it. If they have to do that, then you're not edifiable. Don't get pissed off. It's something that you can control, right? It's your fault for not being edifiable. So what I mean by being edifiable, are you doing the 8 steps to success? Are you doing the 8 steps to success? If you're not edifiable, bro. If you're not going, you don't got a ticket to the next event, you're not edifiable. I can't talk good about you because you're not coming to the next event. I want them to go to the event. But if you're not going, then how can I say that you're this awesome person? You might be a nice person, but you're not doing all the things to build your business the way that I want your prospect to do. So are you edifiable? That's the biggest thing here. Be edifiable. And then you have no problem getting edified, right? After you edify your upline or someone going into your business. So that's how this works. And this is how you build depth quickly, is through edification. That's how you get list names from people in depth, through edification, right?
If you only have 24 hours in a day, your success is dependent upon how you use the 24. You got to hear me. People talk about Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett. Listen to me. I don't care how much money you make. You only get 24 hours in a day. And the difference between Oprah and the person that's broke is Oprah uses her 24 hours wisely. That's it. Listen to me. That's it. You get 24. I don't care if you broke, you grew up broke. I don't care if you grew up rich. I don't care if you're in college, you're not in college. You only get 24 hours. And I blew up literally. I went from being a high school dropout to selling 6,000 books in less than 6 months. What happened in my 24 hours? I was like, okay, Eric, you got to get a grip on your 24 hours because you're about to be broke for the rest of your life. And this is all I need you to do for me. I can tell you all about your life if you just write down your 24-hour schedule for me. You let me look at it. I can tell you where you're going to be in 5 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 10 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 20 years if you keep that schedule.
Here's the biggest thing that I've learned in my life with the Alliance and with Andy Albright is the most valuable resource you have is your time. So are you accountable to your time? Are you planning every second, every minute that you have, every hour that you have with something that is producing for you a great life? I'm not talking just about money. I'm talking about, did you plan your family time? Did you plan your business time? Did you plan your spiritual time? Are you planning your physical time? If you have, do you plan your creative time, recreation time? If you don't have every minute planned, then how can you expect to have an awesome life? I'm not talking just business, right? If you have unaccounted time where you're blowing it off, where you have nothing planned, and I'm talking about anything that planned, then you aren't living your most productive life. And in my opinion, don't you want to live the best life possible, where every minute is accounted for, doing something valuable for someone else, your family, doing something valuable to your Lord and your God, doing something valuable in your business to serve other agents, to serve your clients? Are you getting better every day? Are you listening to junk on the radio? Are you listening to things that will enhance you, will make you the best version of yourself? Or are you just throwing the time away? Because every minute that clicks by is 1 minute that you lost. And if that wasn't devoted to something that would make you better, then you've lost that time forever and you'll never get it back. Do not get into the crashing the schedule mode, pulling an all-nighter for a paper. Don't get into that mode. Pulling an all-nighter to study for a test, because every minute is a test. It's a test of whether or not you have a big enough dream or goal that you're going after. Because if you're just blowing time off, baby, I promise you, man, you are not going to have the best life that you can possibly have. You'll never realize the full potential of who you are as a human being, as a person, productive for yourself and the family, and productive for the Leawantowicz team or the Alliance. Makes sense, gang? All
Yes,
right.
sir.
I
Alex,
am
I
done.
appreciate your time here. Your words of as far as sales and everything are very helpful as far as life as well. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Awesome. Rock on, gang. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Let's do some work.
Thanks, Alex.
Rock on.
Thanks,
See ya.
Alex.
Awesome, bro.
That was awesome.